Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Anupma Biology Classes. In this immunology series, today our topic is addiction, which is taken from cbse class 12th, chapter 8, part 6. Now let's come on the topic. Here the first question is, what is addiction? Addiction is a complex condition, a brain disease that is manifested by compulsive substance use despite harmful consequences. People with addiction have an intense focus on using certain substances such as alcohol or drugs to the point that it takes over their life. They keep using alcohol or a drug even when they know it will cause problems. So, according to the definition, addiction is the habitual, psychological, and physiological dependence on a substance or practice which is beyond voluntary control. A person who is habituated to a substance or a practice, especially a harmful one, is called an addict. Now, what are social disease? So, smoking, drinking, and use of drugs frequently or regularly are social diseases. They adversely affect the health of addicts and the society. Young people take to these habits for fun, show off, or curiosity, as an adventure or feeling of freedom, or as a gesture of defiance against the elders who themselves indulge in these activities but check the youngsters. Other factors that make people take to these vices are inability to face problems of life, indifference shown by members of the family, and encouragement or pressure by friends. Temporary escape from the life problems and the mental relaxation felt on taking the drugs in the beginning increase person's interest in them. Soon they become habitual and find it difficult to leave the daily dose to get the desired effect increases with time. So this is all about the social disease. Now, what is tobacco? So here you can see in this picture, this is the source of tobacco. So the source of tobacco is a tall annual herb belonging to the family Solanaceae. It is a native of South America where the Red Indians first started using it for smoking. Now the tobacco plant is grown almost everywhere in the world. It has large, ovate to lanceolate leaves and terminal clusters of tubular white or pink flowers. Dried and cured leaves of its young branches form commercial tobacco, a harmful intoxicants. So the name of plant from which we can obtain tobacco is Nicotiana tabacum or Nicotiana rustica. So this is the source of tobacco. Now, how polonium creeps into the tobacco? So, where does polonium comes from? Some tobacco plants are growing using fertilizers that contain mineral called apatite. Apatite contains a radioactive element called radium which can eventually decay into polonium 210. But tobacco plants can also absorb radioactive elements directly beneath from the air around them. So, polonium 210 is one of many decay products of uranium. Uranium occurs naturally in the soil but in much higher concentration in phosphate rocks from which fertilizer is made. Researchers have discovered two pathways leading from uranium to polonium in tobacco through the air and through the roots. So, this is how polonium creeps into tobacco. Now, mode of uses of tobacco. So, tobacco is used for smoking, chewing, and snuffing. Its main stimulating component is a poisonous volatile alkaloid, that is nicotine, which causes addiction. So, nicotine synthesis occurs in the roots of the plant but it is stored in the leaves. The leaves contain 2 to 8% nicotine. Inhaling tobacco, smoke from cigar, cigarettes, bidis, pipes and hubble bubble is called smoking. Cigar is a roll of tobacco leaf. Cigarette is cut tobacco wrapped in paper. Bidi is tobacco wrapped in a piece of leaf. Tobacco smoke is drawn directly from the pipe and through water is hubble bubble. Smoking may give some temporary relief to the strained nerves, but in the long run it proves a dangerous health hazard. The quality of nicotine content in one cigar may prove fatal if injected intravenously into a person. When smoked, only 10% of the smoke is inhaled. Hence, no immediate ill effect is observed. Smokers may develop a physiological craving for nicotine and then they cannot give up smoking. So you can see here the 16 cancers caused by smoking from the nasal cavity, pharynx, mouth, larynx, esophagus, lungs, acute myeloid leukemia, liver, stomach, pancreas, bowel, bladder, kidney, ureter, ovary and cervix. So in all these organs, cancer caused by smoking. Now, after this, here you can see that the effects of nicotine. So, what is the effect of nicotine? There are many effects of nicotine in a low concentration. So, first one that is stimulates conduction of nerve impulses, relaxes the muscles, release adrenaline, increasing heart rate and blood pressure. Increased blood pressure due to smoking enhances the risk of heart diseases. Retard fetal growth in expecting mothers and causes tobacco addiction. So, these all are the effects when we take nicotine in the low concentration, but in high concentration of nicotine paralyzes nerve cells. So, this is the effect of nicotine. After this, other harmful components of the tobacco smoke. So, what are the other harmful substances? Here you can see in the picture, besides the poisonous nicotine, the tobacco smoke contains carbon monoxide, polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, and tar. So, there are many harmful components of the tobacco smoke like the carbon monoxide, tar, butane, ammonia, methanol, formaldehyde, cadmium, radon, hydrogen cyanide, arsenic, acetone, and nicotine. So, there are reported to be over 4,000 toxic chemicals contained in cigarettes, many of which are exhaled in smoke, causing harm to others as well as the smokers. So, in this picture, you can see that from the cigarette, you can obtain different type of harmful components like the butane, cadmium, stearic acid, hexamine, toluene, nicotine, ammonia, fuel, carbon monoxide, methanol, arsenic, methane, and acetic acid. So these are the harmful components of the tobacco smoke. After this, now the disease caused by smoking. So there are several diseases which are caused by smoking, in which the first one here, that is the cancer. Benzoprine present in tobacco smoke is carcinogenic. About 95% of the victims of the lung cancer are heavy smokers. Reverse smoking, that is smoking with the burning end of the cigar in the mouth, causes oral cancer. Reverse smoking is common in the villages of the Andhra Pradesh. Tobacco chewing also produces oral cancer. Bidi smoking may lead to the cancer of the tongue, tonsil, pharynx, larynx, and esophagus. Lip cancer has a definite association with the irritation from cigars and pipes. Smoking mutates the critical gene called P53, which helps protect the body from cancer. So, the cancer caused by smoking. After this, cardiovascular disease. Adrenaline released under the influence of nicotine increases blood pressure and the heartbeat rate by constricting the arteries. High blood pressure increases the chances of heart diseases. Now, smokers' cough and bronchitis. Tobacco smoke irritates the mucous membrane of the throat and bronchi, causing smokers' cough and bronchitis. This may lower the resistance of this membrane to invasion by bacteria. After this, emphysema. Irritating smoke may break down the lung alveoli, reducing the surface for the gas exchange. This condition is called emphysema. So, here in this picture you can see that healthy lungs. After that, how emphysema occur? So, in case of healthy lungs, healthy alveoli, then particles trapped in alveoli, then inflammatory response triggered, then inflammatory chemicals dissolve alveolar septum, then large cavities lined with the carbon deposits. According to this, emphysema occur. So it may make the victim permanently short of breath. As the alveoli do not regenerate, emphysema is a very dangerous disease. Carbon monoxide of the tobacco smoke reduces the oxygen carrying capacity of the blood. This further aggravates emphysema. Now, stomach disorders. Smoking increases the secretion of gastric juice at a time when it is not needed. This may cause gastric and duodenal ulcers and is especially harmful to persons already having peptic ulcers. Among peptic ulcer patients, smokers have a higher death rate than non-smokers. Smoking may cause stomach spasm. Now, pulmonary tuberculosis. Smoking hubble bubble can spread pulmonary tuberculosis from infected to healthy person. Now here you can see that the possible effects of smoking marijuana on the lungs. So, according to smoking marijuana, it may increase respiratory symptoms, may cause injury to the airway, can cause inflammation and cell damage linked to precancerous changes in lung tissues, can causes immune system dysfunction. Now, here you can see that pulmonary edema, and before this tissue damage also occur by the smoking. So, examination of the lung section after smoker's death has shown ruptured alveoli, thickened arterioles, and damaged ciliated epithelial lining of the trachea and bronchi. So, tissue damage occur by the smoking. Here you can see that the pulmonary edema where the healthy alveoli and the unhealthy alveoli. In case of healthy alveoli, clear alveoli, no fluid build up in the lungs. While in case of unhealthy alveoli, fluid build up in alveoli, fluid leakage into the lungs. Now, damage to immune system. Smoking decreases immunity of the body, increasing risk of infections. Now, vital capacity. What is vital capacity? The lining capacity are measurement of the two or more volumes. So, the vital capacities measure the maximum amount of air that can be inhaled or exhaled during a respiratory cycle. What is vital capacity? Vital capacity measures the maximum amount of air that can be inhaled or exhaled during a respiratory cycle. It is the sum of the expiratory reserve volume, tidal volume, and inspiratory reserve volume. So, in case of smoking reduces the vital capacity of the lungs and decreases the capacity for strenuous muscular activities. Some other effects are also by smoking, in which smoking affects economy. A smoker not only wastes money but also runs risk of burns and fires. Smoking mars personality. Teeth and fingers may become stained, lips may get discolored, and breath becomes foul. A person with a cigarette hanging from the mouth looks odd. Smoking is annoying to others. Cigarette smoke is quite annoying to non-smokers. It may prove even more harmful to them. A smoker should avoid smoking when in the company of non-smokers. A smoker makes the nearby person passive smokers through inhaling smoke released by him. Some 2.6 million deaths in the world and about 0.6 million in India are related to smoking. Now, nicotine is used in physiologic and pharmacologic investigation and as an insecticide and a fumigant also. So this is the use of nicotine, that is Useful use of nicotine. Use as physiologic and pharmacologic investigations and as an insecticide and a fumigant. So, these are the diseases which caused by smoking. After this, now alcohol. So, what is the source of alcohol? Alcohol source is yeast, and the source of ethanol is Saccharomyces species. This is a microorganism, that is fungus, reproduced by fission, that is budding. And food are the simple sugars only. Anaerobic conditions degrade sugars to alcohol. So ethyl alcohol or ethanol, that is C2H5OH, is a volatile, flammable, colorless liquid having a penetrating odor and burning taste. It is one of the products of the distillation of fermented grains, fruit juices and starches with the help of yeast, that is Saccharomyces cerevisiae enzymes. It is the principal constituent and the intoxicating principle of wines. Now, mode of use. Alcohol is taken in low concentration as beer, toddy and wine, and in relatively high concentration as arrack, brandy, whiskey, rum, gin, vodka, etc. So in this picture you can see that different type of alcohols. Now, what is addiction? Addiction to alcohol is called alcoholism. Alcoholics, that is alcohol addicts, are found in all sections of society. Alcohol causes intoxications and thus acts as a poison. The drinkers begin with small doses, but many of them soon start consuming large doses and become addicts. By the time they realize that drinking is adversely affecting them, it is too late to give it up. There is increasing adaptations to the effect of alcohol, and this requires increasing doses to achieve and sustain a desired effect. An alcoholic can be identified by a breath test. Now, why people take to drinking? So this is the question, that why people take to drinking. The drinkers offer one or more of the following reasons for starting drinking, in which the first one is social desire, then desire for excitement, feeling of independence, liking of taste, desire to escape from such realities of life as disappointments and failures, desire to here offset the hardships and monotony of the daily life. So these are the reasons why people take to drinking. Now after this, what happens when alcohol is taken? So alcohol is quickly absorbed in the stomach and the upper part of the small intestine, and researchers all the tissues in minutes. So its oxidation starts at once and a large amount of heat is produced. Since heat is not needed in the body, it is taken up by the blood and carried to the skin for the dissipation. Since the receptors of the heat are located in the skin, the rush of the blood to the skin gives a false impression of warmth in the body. The blood supply of internal organs is greatly reduced, resulting in fall of temperature in them. Energy released by alcohol is not used in any life process. Rather, the energy derived from food is used up in ridding the body of excess heat. So here you can see that the organs impacted by alcohol are brain, heart, esophagus, pancreas, stomach and liver. So according to alcohol, effects on the bodies are blood vision, brain damage and even stroke, stomach ulcers, heart disease and irregular heartbeat, increased risk of intestinal cancer, liver disease and osteoporosis. So these are the effects of alcohol on the body. Now, is alcohol a stimulant? Many people take alcohol for stimulation. Actually, alcohol is a depressant, a substance which dulls the sense. Thus, it acts as a sedative, analgesic, and anesthetic agent. What is sedative? Sedative means an agent that lessens functional activity. Analgesic means a drug that relieves pain without loss of tactile sense. And anesthetic agents are a drug that causes loss of sensation. So, alcohol acts as sedative, analgesic, and anesthetic. It reduces the efficiency of every tissue of the body. Any feeling of life a person may claim to feel is a mistaken impression or an attempt to justify the act in his own mind. So here you can see that 12 depressant effects of alcohol, that is depression, fatigue, slurred speech, suppressed breathing, feeling of worthlessness, difficulty in sleeping, low blood pressure, headache, slowed reaction time, nausea, impaired cognitive functions and seizure or death. So these are the 12 depressant effects of alcohol. So alcohol is not act as a stimulant, it act as a depressant. Now after this, what are the effects of alcohol? So alcohol affects not only the individual but also his family and the society as a whole. So, if we talk about the effect on the individual, alcohol reaches all body organs. Therefore, all of them are affected. However, certain organs may be affected more than others. So, some effects of alcohol on body organs are here mentioned. First one, that is effect on nervous system. Alcohol has an anesthetic effect on the nervous system. It acts on all neurons and affects many functions such as orientation, alertness, coordination, judgment, memory, and mood. Cerebrum is affected first of all. Person loses judgment, willpower, and self-control. And anxiety disappears and the person feels gay and lightheaded. As the effect of alcohol increases, emotional control suffers. The person may have a feeling of great joy shown by foolish laughter or sadness and weep. Inhibition disappears and the moral sense is lost, leading to antisocial behavior. This is followed by blurred vision, double vision, and inability to judge distances. Next is effect on stomach. A small dose of low concentration alcohol stimulates the secretion of gastric juice, but a large dose of high concentration alcohol causes a painful inflammation of the stomach lining called gastritis. Now, effect on liver. Liver suffers most from excessive drinking. In the liver, alcohol is changed into more toxic substance, that is acetaldehyde. Liver synthesizes fats from alcohol. The excess fat reduces the formation of glycogen, enzymes, and structural proteins. Thus, the liver changes from being an important center of carbohydrate, fat, and the protein metabolism to a mere storehouse of fat. This causes fatty liver syndrome. Then the liver gradually hardens and dries up as its cells are replaced by a fibrous tissue. This kind of liver degeneration is called cirrhosis. Now, effect on heart. When alcohol is taken, the blood vessels dilate to quickly get rid of heat produced by its oxidation. Due to constant dilation, the arterial walls become rigid and brittle. This may affect the working of the heart. Now, effect on kidneys. Kidneys are overworked in eliminating the excess water after taken with the alcohol. Skin may excrete large quantities of water during heat elimination. The loss of water in this manner concentrates nitrogenous waste in the kidneys and interferes with the normal elimination. Next is effect on immunity. The alcoholics generally neglect their health. They often suffer from malnutrition and loss of resistance to infection. Next, effect on babies. Babies of alcoholic mothers are often unhealthy and underweight and may even be abnormal. Now, the second effect on the family. Alcohol is costly, but the alcoholics do not mind spending on it to satisfy their selfish desire. They deprive their family members of the basic needs. This creates all sorts of domestic problems, including quarrels and divorce. And anxiety, frustration, and insecurity in children are a heavy price to pay for alcoholism. Children may become antisocial. Now, effect on society, that is on community. Alcoholism is associated with the social crimes and erosion of the moral inhibitions. Corrupt practices in the society are often directly or indirectly due to drinking. Violence is another outcome of alcoholism. Accidents on roads and in industries increase with the use of alcohol. Distillations and sale of illicit liquor increases antisocial activities. So these are the effect of alcohols on the individual, family and society. After this, drinking and driving. So, drinking and driving do not go together because alcohol is impairs ability to judge distances, reduce capacity to coordinate limb muscles, lessens alertness to watch objects outside the vehicle, makes vision blurred, slows responses to unexpected situations such as a person running across the road, and changes behavior, making the person rash, erratic, and careless. So, an alcoholic is a sick person. He needs the attention of family members and friends to give up the habit. This is possible under proper medical supervision. Alcoholism was declared a disease by WHO in 1964. So this is the end of video in which we understood about the addiction, tobacco and alcohol. After this, the next upcoming video will be on drugs. So if you like this video, please like and share it and comment on the comment section below. Thank you for the watching.